We're here. We're live.
Okay.
Hello, Jessica Luganville with Porchlight Real Estate Group, and I have Amy Bayer, who is the CEO and founder of Porchlight Real Estate Group in Colorado.
That is correct.
And we're happy you're here.
Okay, great.
Okay. Uh-oh. Hold on.
Delay.
Help, Mayday. Okay. I had the sound on YouTube and it was broadcasting into my office.
A little too much.
So we won't hear that now. Starting over. So here we are. So Amy, I wanted to talk about a couple things with you today. I want to get a quick update because it was a big important weekend in Colorado real estate. So we want to talk a little bit about that. So just to lead in, I would like to hear what we saw over the weekend, what you think that potentially indicates for us going forward.
Well, what we saw over the weekend was that things picked up quickly. And so it was, unsure as to when showings open up, how confident will buyers be, how much pent-up demand will there be. We got a lot of contracts for a Monday, which, it was like a pretty typical Monday in the spring for us. And as far as our listing count goes, normally in the month of May, we'll list somewhere between like 100, 110 homes. And in April, similarly. And in April, we only had, I think it was 23. And in May, we have 58 scheduled right now, which we'll get some more. So it tells me that we're trending in the right direction as far as what the market's doing, if you use Porchlight as a snapshot of the greater marketplace. And then if you look at showings overall, we're getting to the place where we're starting to see you don't need as many showings to get a contract now because buyers are the only ones that are really going out are the ones that are serious. Mm-hmm. So before it was 19 showings to a contract and now it's 12 showings to a contract. And so that just tells you that the buyers that are going out are more serious. They're still bidding wars in multiple price ranges. And people are busy. And I think 3 listings came in yesterday and 3 more the day before. So that just shows me more steady uptick. And assuming that I think that we can continue with showing and listing homes, I think we'll continue to see that process. And, a lot of people were like, when we go back to showing or when the market gets back, if I'm a buyer, I'm going to get a deal. Well, that's actually not true. Just because of the dynamics of the marketplace in Denver and Boulder, and that is it's supply and demand. When you have not that much supply and high demand, the market conditions are strong, and it appears that we're returning back to a pre-COVID market, assuming, and this is a big assumption, that we don't get shut down again or that something else doesn't happen. But assuming that we begin to move forward and things begin to slowly open up, I think that's what we'll see.
I saw that in my own business this weekend. I have a 6,000 square foot listing in Erie, and it was really interesting. We had multiple showings this weekend, and all of those people had already seen the virtual tour online. Yeah. Some of them had seen the virtual open house, and so they already knew what they were coming to see versus, pre-COVID market, we get a lot of, we're just looking at the market, trying to check out the neighborhood, and they maybe don't really know anything about the house. So that was actually refreshing. I think sellers, it's hard to show a house, right? You got to get it ready and leave. And so it was refreshing for my sellers to know the people coming in their house are serious buyers, pre-qualified, ready to go.
Right. I think that we're going to see more of that moving forward, especially as agents have adopted more technologies so that we can better showcase homes online. Using things like Matterport and video and more of those things so that buyers can get a really good idea of what homes are. And I think in the end, it saves buyers a lot of time too. Mm-hmm. If there's these people online to be able to see houses, it just saves them a lot of, there's no sense in going to see a house if it's not going to fit your needs. And I think that, time is not something that we have a lot of all the time. And I think that with these technologies, it's helping. And I think we're going to see that trend continue. And I don't think we're going to see that go away. I think that's going to be something that will stay.
I agree. I actually hope it doesn't go away. I really like the ability for our buyers and sellers to get more informed online.
Agreed.
Do the Matterports. And I think time is money for everybody involved. And I hope that these are the tools that we keep using. I'm excited about it, actually.
I 100% agree. And also, too, it's helping our agents just be more succinct and helping the buyers understand what they want. We're doing a lot more like virtual buyer consults, meaning that they're going through a lot of homes online on things like Zoom calls with their clients, and really doing a lot of the market education virtually as opposed to in person, saving everybody time. And I think that that's why it will stay when this is over, because I think agents are now getting used to what that process looks like, what that process feels like, and seeing how much it can really help the buyer.
So I want to talk about something that's kind of new in the market. I talked about Matterport on a video a week or two ago, and I really am excited about the new virtual open houses. Mm-hmm. So pre-COVID, a virtual open house was something that an agent would do maybe if they had an out-of-town buyer or a house that was hard to get to in the mountains or something. They might do a video. Yeah. But the idea of the virtual open house is really coming out of a creative solution for the reality that we can't do open houses, and open houses are so important. So I'm excited to share my experience over the weekend, but can you, Amy, share a little bit about—
I want to hear your experience.
Well, I want to hear from your perspective, just as a managing broker, as an owner, the value you see potentially coming from those virtual open houses, and how the plan that you have for the brokerage as a whole to really benefit from that idea.
Well, I think we can only do the virtual open house now. It's all we can do. But I think a virtual open house actually coupled with an open house is very powerful. Mm-hmm. I think that if you do a virtual open house prior to the actual open house, that will create a lot more people wanting to go to the open house. And it creates a lot of engagement online. Right now, all we can do is virtual open houses. And I think that there's something to be said for many buyers out there want to try to navigate this alone and get as much information as they can before they talk to an agent. Mm-hmm. And this is just another way that we can get our sellers' listings out into the marketplace in a way that showcases them so that the most interested buyers will actually go see them. And to me, that's the point behind that, and is creating that engagement. So I just think it's more exposure for our sellers.
Yeah, I agree. So I did a virtual open house this weekend and did not know what I was doing.
Yeah. None of us really do.
Nope,
we're all figuring it out.
So I just did it, and couldn't figure out how to do it on my cell phone. So I did it on my laptop, and it went fine. From an agent perspective, it's hard because you're talking essentially out loud to yourself for an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. You're just talking.
Right.
Which means you have to know a lot about the house. Which really benefits, again, the buyer, because this is a 30-minute monologue about the house. You're going to find out about the floors and any updates and so much more information than you might be able to glean from especially a busy open house. I mean, I was able to share so many things. But one of the things that my sellers have been thrilled about is the fact that virtual open house lives on my social media. It's there permanently. And so we've been getting somewhere between 50 and 70 additional views on that every day.
That's great.
So that is so exciting to them, because we would never have that many people in an open house. Now, are they all buyers? We don't even know who they are, but they're eyes on the house. So
they're eyes on the house, and it's more exposure for our sellers, which is what we ultimately want.
Mm-hmm. So my sellers have been thrilled about that. Just knowing that it's out there and people are able to see it. And I'm excited about it too, having that many eyes on the house.
Yeah, I mean, we normally have an open house program where we put signs out for all the open houses and all the company comes together and everybody does. But we're actually going to have now a virtual open house program where people can sign up for virtual open houses and go to the homes and display them and, get some some exposure for the seller and some engagement on social media.
Which opens up to a whole new market. So my virtual open house is really being advertised to my network. And so if I'm able to have another agent into my listing to do a virtual open house, now it opens up to their network. So that's so beneficial to both sides, really, buyers and sellers, to be able to access things in different ways. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, that was exciting.
All right. Well, last week when we talked, you said the word of the day or of the time for the market was unpredictable. What is it this week?
I still think there's some unpredictability to it, that where some predictability has entered, in that now we're showing, so we know that things are picking up. So there's that piece, there's that predictability that's there. And assuming, I really do think that assuming there's some predictions to be made. I sent an email out to the company today of like the first time I really have that says, here's what I think is going to happen. And I think that assuming that we don't get shut down again and we don't have a spike in cases, and as long as we responsibly open things up, that the market will continue to have that uptick, because ultimately this is a place where people want to live. And also too, Colorado was one of the least hits by unemployment claims. Now, will that be long lasting? We don't know. That remains to be seen, but it was one of the lower hit by the unemployment claims just because of our local economy and how diversified it is and how strong it is. So, I think assuming, again, that everything continues on the uptick and people can get back to work, that our market will just hum along. And I think that in Q3 and Q4, it's very likely that we could make up for, potentially the sales that we lost in Q2 and when people didn't move. Because I think there's a lot of people that have been sitting at their homes during this quarantine that are like, I can move. And there's still some people that don't want to leave their home yet.
Yes.
And so those people still haven't even entered the market yet. And so as we get better and as people feel they're more in the market.
Yeah, we had 3 out-of-state buyers tour one of my listings this weekend. So there's definitely still people moving in as well, which is great.
Yeah, and the fact that they can plan to come here, says a lot.
Yeah, that means they have to move. Right. They wouldn't be here if they didn't have to. Yeah, I had someone ask me if I'm nervous to list a house, meaning am I worried it's not going to sell? And I'm actually really not. I'm excited to list houses right now. I think buyers, like you said, they're serious buyers. They're looking for a house. And some of those have been not sure they were going to move. And now they're sure they're going to move.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about new listings coming up. And I think the market's showing good signs.
Yeah. And it's still an extreme seller's market. If you look at, and again, there's still not enough data to really say this, but we have under 2 months supply right now. At 6 months being a balanced market, and assuming that indicator keeps showing that the month supply is actually going to go down. And if that trend continues, then we're going to have a big seller's market. So I think there's been a lot of people that have been waiting to see, should I list my house? Should I not list my house? And, and anytime it's a seller's market, now is a good time to do it.
And it's nice and the grass is green. All of those normal things.
The grass is very green today. It rained yesterday, which is
beautiful. Well, I thank you for your update. Anything else you want to leave us with today?
No, I think that the key word is recovery now. I think that it's assuming that everything goes the way that I think it's going to, and that we don't open up too soon and that we can slowly open up. I think we're going to be just fine.
Me too. So we'll check back in with you soon and hopefully we'll have great numbers to report. Yeah,
we'll have more numbers then. There's not enough data right now to even talk about it.
Yep. And hopefully we'll be able to say we're doing open houses, but even if not, I'm happy with virtual.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen with once they open up restaurants. I think that those two things would probably be linked.
It would make sense.
Yeah, and we'll have to figure out a way to control the amount of people that go in, because we don't want 40 people in a 1,000 square foot home.
That's a good problem to have, but
those are the open houses that are the most packed, those close in Denver ones that are, expensive and small. And those are the ones that tend to get the most packed. So we'll have to figure out a way to control that.
Yeah, we will. We'll figure it out.
We will. Yes, we will. We sure will. We figured out a lot in the last month. Talk about turning everything on a dime. We did it.
That's right. We'll keep doing it. All right. That's right. Why it's good to be part of a team.
Yep. Go team, go.
That's right. All right, Amy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Jess. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.